I didn't like feeling stuck in a house. And so I think it appealed right from the get-go to be a bit nomadic. It's just sort of in me. I had a really difficult relationship breakup and ended up leaving the house I was living in with just a backpack, really, in the van. And it wasn't set up for long periods of time or anything. It didn't have any heating. It wasn't insulated. And so I ended up living in this, basically just like an empty shell of a van with a makeshift bed in it over winter, which was pretty tough, especially with a 6-year-old, well, 5-year-old at the time. Yeah, and so it was like something that I loved anyway, that then presented itself as a solution to a problem I was having in my life because I needed to get out and be on my own. There are ways in which I feel more secure in a van because I'm falling back on trusting myself and my own resources, and somehow actually that feels more concrete than the sense of security that comes from living in a building, because it's only walls. It doesn't actually provide you with all the things you need. The materials that you own, the resources you have that normally constitute home in a bricks and mortar setting, you've got a really pared down minimal version of that, and you can take that wherever you like, and therefore home is just the world. Home is wherever you stop that day and whoever you bump into and whichever beautiful environment you park up in. And then it feels like, almost like that concept of home's turned inside out. So rather than home being an enclosed place, home becomes the world and the next adventure and the next person that smiles at you and the next beautiful thing you see when you step out of the van. There's like a lot of really strong underpinning values, actually. And I feel like it's a shame that that gets missed because of people judging the book by its cover and having this preconceived idea of what a traveller would be like. Or, yeah, it seems sad to miss those opportunities for connection. You can be different and still part of a wider community. I think it's important to keep, just really important to keep that diversity. The UK's got a really long history of people living nomadic lifestyles, actually. It would be a shame if that got squashed out of existence. That would be a real shame. Being in a van helps me so much coping with the stress and the monotony of motherhood, because there's more in my life that's for me, and that in turn nourishes my relationship with my daughter. It means that I'm more resourced and happier, more energetic, more motivated, more inspired, and a better mummy to her because of it. It's brilliant waking up in the morning in January and she's running outside to find ice crystals on a blade of grass and bring them in to show me. And there's so much of the world and so many awesome people that you bump into that she's kind of getting that exposure to, that I feel like it would be harder to reach if we were in a house. Ended up living in a forest in Wales because it belongs to a friend of mine. It was like a really peaceful time to recover, but then it was also a really busy time because we were trying to make it habitable. We cleared a lot of brambles, did a lot of like building things, building a shelter and turning a waterfall into a shower and getting like basic stuff covered. But it was also just an incredibly peaceful, beautiful place. And we had great big trees to rig highlines in. So we spent nearly 5 months all in, barely leaving the forest, actually. Highlining it's been my solace and my therapy and my passion, and it just is something I think about all the time and want to do all the time and just have this enormous psyche for. It gives you a community, it gives you a space in the sky, it gives you that wonderful feeling of flow when you're just really in your body, and it's so much more like a meditation than the adrenaline sport that it looks like. All the amazing people that come along with that and all the amazing people who've helped, kind of just the encouragement and support and the little bits of learning that are exchanged. To be able to walk out into a space that people don't generally get to walk out into, to being able to step off the edge of a cliff and just be there hanging in space. I've thought a lot about a sense of home and whether, like, I've thought about whether Mr. Bus is home, and whether there's anywhere in the world that actually feels like going home, whether home's a location. I think for me, a lot of home is people, feeling held by a community of people, feeling like you've got your friends and your loved ones. And so the people immediately that have been around me, especially through some really hard times, have made, I guess they've made a sense of home.